Well, hello, this is Neil, your Geek with Glasses, coming to you today with a product evaluation. I recently took delivery of the Audio-Technica ATR3350 wired lavalier microphone, and I wanted to briefly discuss some of the pros and cons about it and give you a little bit of an audio sampling. As you can tell by the image on the screen, the lapel I have on is actually the microphone plugged into the camcorder, so the audio that you're hearing is actually being captured from the 3350 currently. I'll do a little bit of an audio test at the end and I'll unplug it and let you hear the internal speaker, the internal microphone on my Canon Vixia HFS10 so that you can get a little bit of an audio comparison and see the difference between actually having a dedicated microphone system when recording such things as podcasts or any other types of events where you want to have really good audio. For those of you who are in the podcasting world, you enjoy sharing your knowledge and information with other people or just doing some type of a lifestyles broadcast, you've learned that having good audio is very critical to having a successful podcast. Even if it's a video-based podcast, a lot of times I know that I'll be looking through the iTunes libraries as well as a few of my friends. We may watch a video podcast, but if we get really crummy audio, we may not actually continue and or go back to that show, the podcast show or online media show, if you can't really hear what's going on really well, if you get lots of background noises and so on and so forth. And having a lavalier microphone plugged into your recording device, whether it be you're recording directly into one of your computer's webcam, and instead of using the onboard microphone, or the mic that's built into the webcam, having a dedicated microphone, whether it be like a USB microphone, which you can see I've got a blue snowball behind me, which is what I use when I do my live broadcasts and I'm doing dedicated recordings, as well as this recent edition of my Audio-Technica lavalier mic for my camcorder-based system. Audio is a very important component of having a decent show. So what I wanted to do is briefly talk about this specific low-cost budget wired lavalier microphone in case you are looking into getting into some more podcasting, maybe doing some interviews, which I've recently done with a buddy of mine, Ray, who you can find at Twitter at Podcast Helper. We attended the PodCamp Philly up in Philadelphia, PodCamp Philly 3. And we did some interviews of podcasters, and Ray's got a little bit more of a professional setup with some Sennheiser wireless lavaliers, and I'm not necessarily doing this professionally the way he is, so I wasn't looking at spending $600 for a wireless solution. I found a nice wired lavalier mic right here with the Audio-Technica ATR3350 for just under $30, a little over $30 with shipping, and I found mine on Amazon.com. So I just briefly wanted to talk a little bit about it and what you get in the box. This is the box that you're going to get. Unfortunately, like I said, you can't see it in there because I'm using it to record this show. But what you're getting inside the box is a lavalier mic. You can see here on my lapel. It comes with an alligator clip as well as the styrofoam meshing that you put over so that they call it a spit guard so that you don't get those popping sounds, or a pop guard. It comes with a 20-foot extension cable. It is a mono microphone, so if you're looking for something stereo, this may not be an option for you. There's a few others that I have found that are wired, made by Sony and a couple of other brands. And it comes, this does not require phantom power. In other words, what that means is the camera that you're using provides a dedicated power source to the microphone to actually record that audio. So what this one comes with as well is a little adapter that comes with a little watch battery that you just kind of unscrew this little cylinder, and there's an on-off switch for turning the audio on and off. It's also got a belt clip, so you basically would want to, maybe clip this on your belt or put it in your pocket or whatever. You got a 20-foot lead cable that runs out to your camera, and then you've got probably about a 4-foot cable or so that you can run up the lapel, and you can either hide it under your shirt, which is typically what you would want to do. But for demonstration purposes, I went ahead and left this visual so that you can actually see the microphone. One of the things that I really love about this microphone is, as you'll know a little bit later when I do an audio test without the mic, is obviously the dedicated sound quality. It's an omnidirectional mic, so it's actually going to pick up surrounding sounds, but being the fact that the loudest thing in the room is my voice right now, it's kind of going to drum out some of those background sounds. It's really small and compact. It comes, a nice little wire. It doesn't seem real flimsy. Connections are pretty tight and pretty intense on it. I do like this little casing. It's not cheap plastic. It's actually a little aluminum casing, so it's going to be a little bit durable and rugged in case you maybe bump into something and this is on your belt or whatnot. A couple of things that I've definitely found that I would like to see as an improvement. I have an on-off switch because it is battery powered for the microphone. However, there's no indication anywhere on the device whether or not I have it powered on. So the only way I know is by looking at my viewfinder on my camera and I see my voice bar going up and down. If I turn this off, that voice bar is not going to go up and down. It would be really nice to have a little, maybe like an LED on here that could potentially not only show you when the device is on by illuminating green or whatnot, but you also have no idea what your battery life is like. So you could be in the middle of recording a podcast and not know that your battery died, and unless you're looking at your monitor or have somebody monitoring your sound while you're doing it, you may lose your audio and you may spend 20-30 minutes talking with no audio being recorded, and a lot of the content that you may have wanted could die. So I would potentially recommend going out and buying a couple of the batteries to have on hand and kind of test it out. See how long you can get out of one recording, one life with the microphone before you actually start using it in a production or professional capacity. I'm just doing this as a hobbyist, so it's not that crucial of a thing for me. However, it would be really nice. I'd love to see an addition of maybe an LED that glows 3 colors, you know, red, battery's dead. It's on but no power, you know, that type of thing. Or a next level of orange, you know, batteries, half-life or whatever, and then green is, you know, good battery life, letting you know that it's on and kind of give you an indication of how much time you have on that battery for recording your show. Other than that, that main indicator is really the only thing that I've seen that I don't like so much about it. The switch on it's nice and tight, so you're not going to accidentally or inadvertently turn that power off. Again, this is going to, you know, clip on your belt or in your pocket or whatever, and I don't think you're going to have a problem with that turning off. And you know, it's so far it's been a great mic. I've done a couple of things. I've actually even plugged it in directly into my laptop and used it as a dedicated mic and did a little bit of a compare between my Blue microphone, which is USB interface, and the microphone jack on the computer. So again, the real only drawback that I've seen with this microphone is the fact that it is mono, and it creates a little bit, not necessarily, it doesn't make it difficult, but there's a couple of extra things when you export your audio. One of the things that I discovered, if you do a recording like I'm doing here and you just export that video, whether you're using iMovie or Final Cut or Final Cut Express, whichever the applications you're using if you're on a Mac, it's going to export automatically in QuickTime via a stereo option. So you're only going to get audio out of one speaker. So one of the things that you'll have to do, being that it is a mono mic, is you'll go in and when you do your export, you want to, you know, just select on your audio components to set it to mono, and then what it does is it actually takes that mono sound and dubs it so that it comes out of both speakers. You won't have a stereo separation, but at least it's going to come out of both speakers. On the same token, depending on what you're doing and what kind of audio broadcast you're doing, having mono sound only coming out of one speaker would be really cool. Let's say you wanted to do interviews where you had, you know, the interviewee sound coming out of one speaker and the individual who's being interviewed coming out of another speaker for kind of a back and forth effect. Let's say you were doing some camera work where you were filming the interviewer and then filming the interviewee. That would be kind of a nice little function that you could do. But to keep it simple, it's a great mic. I like it so far. I've used it, you know, like I said, a handful of times, and I wanted to go ahead and put this out there and let you hear the audio tone. I'm going to go ahead and actually unplug it and let you get a little bit of a sampling with what my Canon Vixia HFS10 sounds like with the built-in stereo mics, so you can kind of hear a little bit of a difference in what, you know, a little $30 add-in can do for your production quality. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So again, for additional content, you can follow me on Twitter at Geek with Glasses. You can also find my personal page at Pit Bike Rider. It's a little bit more of, you know, my day-to-day life, but if you're looking for technology advice, follow me on Twitter. You can also hit me up on my YouTube channel, which is Geek W Glasses, or Geek W Glasses Live, I'm sorry, on YouTube, and that's where you'll find all of the exclusive content, reviews, questions being answered, and anything else that I have that's technology related. So for that, have a nice day, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video coming soon. Thanks a lot. Oh, and don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe to my channel, and spread the word. If you follow me on Twitter, Follow Fridays is a great thing. I've done some work for a few people and helped them out via Twitter, which is my main way of getting support from a geek with years of IT experience. Just follow me up on Twitter and ask me questions via Geek with Glasses on Twitter, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'm sitting in the exact same spot. All I did was get up and unplug the external microphone. You can see that the mic tip is right here in my hand. You're now hearing the audio directly. I'm speaking in the same tone. I'm speaking with the same volume in my voice. And you're now hearing the built-in microphone, which comes on the Canon Vixia HFS10. That if you're doing these types of formats, where you're doing interviews or you're doing some type of a podcast, the dedicated sound that you get from a lavalier microphone just can't be beat.